am so excited to have you here with me today. We are going to start with setting a sacred space to ensure that everything that we have come through today is in integrity, is in truth, is in love. And then we are going to move in straight into whatever spirit desires to share with us today, whatever healing, activation, clearing is needed most for this beautiful group that we are in communion with. And I can't wait to see what comes through. As always, I never know exactly what's going to come through until we are in the middle of it, but we will just be able to wait and see. Let's begin. So first, we're just going to start with a few declarations. So we declare that anything and everything that comes through into this space, into this sacred space we are setting, is free of any illusions, any distortions, any lies, and that we are only available to receive what is in divine truth from one true source that is in integrity, that is in love, unconditional love. And we are going to now call in any supportive universal energies, and we can visualize this as beautiful frequencies and flecks of energy or light, whatever is most resonant for you, most calming and most soothing or supportive. So I'm just going to call upon and envision and imagine that all of the beautiful universal energy that is surrounding me, all of these white and beautiful golden flecks, they're coming into this space, and we just want to fill this space up. And we're going to ask that this beautiful white purifying light and frequencies and these really powerful golden soothing enlightening frequencies and light is going to come in and dissolve and illuminate any dark parts in our individual auras and the collective auras in this space. We're going to give a moment for that to do so. I also am receiving and seeing a lot of purple light, and I'm just going to ask, what is this purple here to do? And I'm actually hearing illumination. So this is a particular frequency and light that is coming in to provide, in particular, illumination to the shadows that we have been blind to, that have eluded us, that hold those missing pieces that we've been all seeking. And the beautiful part is as we are calling in these frequencies, and this light is going to illuminate each individual fields, our bioenergetic fields, our auras, and it's going to come in and it's going to do the work individually on whatever we might each need. And so you can trust and know that after this session today, if you begin to start to have some repressed emotions beginning to rise within you, if you begin to have any contrasting experiences or just a little bit of like an upheaval within yourself, positive or perceived heavier emotions, right? That is completely normal. That is just a product of the clearing, the light coming in and directly targeting whatever it is in your field, within your body, your spirit that needs illuminating at this time. And I see it like now a purple like this purple light washing over and completely encompassing us. Now I'm seeing us in a circle, our spirits in a circle with our individual auras. And each of our auras is touching. And I'm being told that this is the joining of our spirits at this time as we begin to set this space. And we're forming this beautiful circle, each individuals, but coming together in this space to find support, to find rest, where we get to exchange spiritually what each of us may hold that the other may need. And this is what sisterhood is about. That it doesn't matter how close or how far we are, but in this space right now, what we are doing is our spirits are coming together. Our energies, our gifts are coming together. And the beautiful part is in this connection where all of our fields are overlapping is that, and when we are in agreement to come into this space together, we can give and receive freely whatever it is that our each individual unique gifts can give and receive, whether that is heart healing, whether that is physical healing, whether that is shadow illumination, or whether it's activation, whatever it may be. And we are going to begin to see and witness and feel the transformation that occurs, that comes when we come together like this in spaces in sisterhood like this, in communion. So now that we are joined, I just want to ensure that we are all feeling grounded. So I'm seeing that a few of us are a little bit spacey, like we're a little bit floating. And this is where we actually want to connect now. And we just want to give that grounding cord into ourselves. So I do things a little bit different. I have been shown that it's less about needing to always ground into Mother Earth, because we are here, we exist, and that physical touch absolutely can be so beneficial, and it can be and feel so healing and grounding. But ultimately, what we really want to be doing is not grounding into anything that's outside of ourselves, but we want to be grounding further and deeper into ourself, into our spirit, where a lot of us, where we struggle. And this is why this is the first initiation and connection being formed for us today outside of our sisterhood circle, is we need to all ensure that we are connecting in with ourselves, that we are not reaching, that our energy isn't reaching outside of us all the time, and that we're not floating above our body, dissociating, that we're not constantly sending these energetic tendrils out to like a higher power, that where we feel like we are separate from them, but we are going to pull all of that in and give that back to ourselves, because everything that we are is within us. The higher power that we keep looking towards, that higher power is within you. It's not separate. It's not higher. It resides in you. It resides in every living thing on this earth. All the good, all the bad, each person that is here today, every living thing, it is connected by spirit. It is connected by whatever you relate to, whatever you speak to, God, source, universe. All of that is the same energy. We just have different names for it, but we're connecting to the same thing when we are connecting to the energetic source and power and spirit that runs through all of us. And as much as we may like not to believe everything, the chaos, the bad people that act as initiators and catalysts for our growth, act as ignitions to our gifts, and the destruction that we perceive as well, is all there to initiate us into those next stages, into becoming and remembering, right? Remembering who we are. If we didn't have those things, we would never evolve, we would never grow, we would never remember. So, as you sit there now, I want you to really lean into and start more deeply discerning, what is it that you are connecting to? And is what you've been connecting to something that you have been outsourcing your power to by believing it is separate or higher than you or knows better than you? Or is it something that you are finding from within, connecting deeply and feeling that love and regeneration from, feeling that connection that literally binds each and every single thing on this earth and outside of this earth? It's the spirit that runs through the all. And the all is us, and we are the all, and we are all connected. And when we can come in and unify all of these parts, that's when we can really find sovereignty and peace. And that is what I most hope to deliver and help you discover within yourself today and through our time together, through these sessions. So rather than reaching up, as many of us have been taught as well to do in sacred space, I want you to climb up, to unite. Right? We've been looking at ourselves below for so long, but we are coming into a great rising, a great enlightenment and ascension. And each of us do that at our own pace. And each of us, every single one, whether we perceive them as good or bad, they are all going through that same process, just at different levels. And so let's just take space to just honor that and recode our beliefs around the good and the bad. And just understand that all of it holds its sacred purpose. And often, as I've learned, or exactly as I've learned, is that the people that have caused the most harm, they often can be soul family that have just chosen a perceivably negative role in our lives to act as those catalysts of growth and to initiate and ignite our power and our gifts that we would never be able to find without those chaotic, negative, or destructive forces in our lives. So this is what I invite you to think of now. And it's not about accepting these things in our lives, or I should say, it's not about allowing it and accepting it. We can separate ourselves from it and receive the gift of the initiation and the catalyst through the chaos and the destruction. But it doesn't mean we're supposed to allow it. I want to ensure that I'm just representing this aspect that I'm explaining properly. This doesn't mean that you should stay in an abusive relationship. They're meant to act as initiations and ignitions into you reclaiming your power and your remembrance and coming into the remembrance of who you truly are, right? Your spirit is you. Right now you are just remembering. And right now you are just existing within you're perceiving a time, a part of your timeline, but the rest of your timeline already exists. You just haven't experienced it physically yet. So the you that is in the future, that you perceive as the future, it is already simultaneously occurring. And all we need to do is align ourselves to our one true pathway that is in communion with our true spirit, right? Into the truth of our spirit, I should say. So that's my goal for all of you today, and as we continue through this pathway program, is to unite you with your remembrance, to unite us with the collective consciousness of the all that is God, spirit, whatever you believe or whatever you call it, it's flowing through all of us. And it's to connect you directly into that collective consciousness so that you can perceive what you need to perceive to be able to move forward in this life that you are experiencing and embodying right now. So let's walk you up a divine staircase and connect you into that remembrance. Unite you with your spirit that is in connection to the one true source, because we do need to be aware that there are many false sources, many false gods that have been developed and that are become these entities that are not grounded in love and integrity and truth, but are grounded in power and servitude and many things that we want to make sure that we're disconnecting from. So right now, we are going to be connecting you into the true source where you came from, that you were born from. The collective conscious of the universe, all of the universe has always existed. And then what happened is we were separated. We were birthed from the cosmic womb, from the universal womb, and we became, when it was needed, we became and separated from the collective consciousness to embody these individual spirits that held different attributes and traits, and then began having different experiences and lifetimes, playing different characters to learn and grow and find a role within the collective consciousness. And that is what each and every one of us are doing now. And all we need to do is remember, what is that state? What is our true spirit? What is our spirit's truth? And who are we within that collective consciousness, and what role are we playing that is innately going to bring us the most satisfaction and health and fulfillment, joy, peace, love, freedom. And once we connect to that in its purest form of truth, that is when we can start to feel the shifts and the changes within our body and begin experiencing a truly fulfilling, beautiful life, unlike what many of us may be experiencing now, which is a lot of confusion or not quite being able to understand or discern, like, where do I fit in? Because the roles that we've been assigned up until now, they've been very surface level, they've been shallow, they haven't amounted to the enormity we feel within us that we are meant to live and express. And they are based on societal beliefs and conditioning that we've been born and bred into. And now we have already done so much of the work of being able to dismember that, of being able to unravel all of that. And now we need to connect you to your one true spirit. I want to do a slight disclaimer that these sessions truly do, it may take a few days, but they will begin to start to shift your physical reality. And some of the things, depending on how much in separation we were to our truth of our spirit, and to the truth of where we exist within that collective consciousness and what that role is, what state of being we are meant to exist in once we connect to that truth. It can be quite alarming, all of the illusions that begin falling away. All of a sudden, what you might begin experiencing is you may start to no longer connect to the ways of life that you've been existing in, that have become so normal that you didn't even think that there was anything wrong with it. And it's not like anything was wrong, but it's just, you'll begin to feel the dissonance of how it really wasn't right for you, right? For some, that is the path that they're meant to be. For many, it's the path that they are meant to be on right now. But what happens is you will begin to feel how, wow, this thing that I thought was the goal, what was the dream, what was what I thought I desired and deserved, suddenly that can begin to completely shift. And what you might begin to be illuminated to is that the life that you were imagining, that was the goal, that was the dream, that was the fantasy, can begin to crumble. And what is left can be a shell, and it can be quite disorienting. It can be quite confusing as the identity that you had formed completely begins to shatter, and you are left in your raw, true form. And the life that you thought you were going to be living can suddenly be the complete opposite or different than what you had been working towards or building. And so that is just the disclaimer, and what I want to support you in and desire to support you in, and what I'm here to support you in, is the crumbling. And when you begin to feel disoriented and the timelines completely shift once we connect you to your spirit and that truth, and the truth of being in connection to the spirit and the source, the God that runs and lives in each one of us within. So if you feel like you need any support after this occurs, this is where the chat space is there. The temple in Telegram, our private temple, is there for you to just express, for you to be held, for you to just share whatever it is that you are going through, so that we can ground you in your truth, and we can support you in the mental chaos that sometimes can come when these profound timeline shifts begin to occur as we align you to your spirit. So nothing is too much. If you need to be held, make sure to express it, because you are not alone. And this is why this is so important, because these connections that we are making are huge. And they can be very disorienting. I've experienced it myself. And the reason why I made this group is because in many of these moments, I was completely alone in these transitions where I was questioning everything in my reality, because everything in my internal world had shifted as I connected to the truth of what I came here to do. And everything that I thought I was building just suddenly came crashing down and shifted and changed. And suddenly what I had been striving towards just completely became non-resonant. And I didn't know what to do with myself, because it was like, what do I do when all of this that I'd been working towards and striving towards, and now it doesn't feel right anymore? And now what do I replace it with? And that caused all kinds of thoughts as the energy rapidly shifts and you experience ascension symptoms. So you are not alone, and that is something that I want to make sure is very known here, that if you need support, ask for it. We only can help if you express it. And if you're experiencing any of these things, they are completely normal. as much as they may feel distressing in the moment. Or you might experience feelings also of bliss. It can be quite an oscillation as you feel the most peace you've ever felt, and then the most chaos as the old self dies. And then you get those moments, and as you begin to embody and connect with the peace of being who you truly came here to be. So now we're going to begin. I want you to visualize and imagine a staircase, a divine, glowing, white, golden staircase. Take note if this staircase is any other color to you, and you can share that in the chat and ask what that may represent, or sit with your own spirit on what that may represent to you. And I want you to envision walking up the staircase. Take note of what it looks like. Is it very simple? Is it very intricate? Is it a spiral staircase? Does it go straight up to the top? Is it stepping blocks? Whatever it may be to you. You may see glimpses of different things as you walk up the staircase, memories, people. And you may notice that as you're walking up this staircase, that it may take on a different hue at different stages. You may notice that you may be walking past different people. Take note of what you see and what you're passing, because this will give you glimpses into the things physically that you need to let go of, and it can help you process the letting go and what needs to be physically released. So take note. Sit and be present with any feelings that may arise as you begin to walk up the staircase. You've now taken multiple different steps. And I want you to also take a moment to just look behind you and look at how long and far that the staircase is that stands behind you, that you've already climbed. Take note and appreciate and be grateful and honor how many steps you've taken to get here to this present moment that you are in right now. Honor the parts of your life that you had to walk away from. Honor all that you've reclaimed as you have walked up that staircase and gotten to who you are today. All of those pieces that you found and remembered about yourself. Take a moment to just sit in whatever feelings arise. Now I want you to continue up that staircase. And you're going to continue walking up that staircase until you land at a door. And this door on the other side leads to the infinite spirit that you are. That you have been in some ways disconnected from. Some of us will be more disconnected from others. It leads to the spirit that is a part of the all, that is connected to the all, which is God, source, spirit. And take note of, what does this door look like for you? Is it arched? Is it round? Is it just a normal door? Is it intricate? Is it rudimentary? Take note, as these later on may provide different clues as to the life you are meant to lead and embody, and the lifestyle you are meant to exist in, the way you are meant to just be. And now I want you to see your hand reaching out and grabbing the doorknob. What does this doorknob look like? And I want you to take note of, how does that doorknob feel? Is it cool to the touch? Is it a cold metal? Is it a branch that has been turned into a handle? Is it smooth? Is it rough? And now I want you to pull the door open, because this can only be done by you. I can initiate you and help guide you through this door, but ultimately the choice is yours. Take note of any hesitations, any thoughts, any excitements that you may feel, any emotions as you are preparing to open this door and now it is cracked. Because these gives insight into the things that we may need to dive further into after this session, to journal about. Now this door is cracked and this beautiful, absolutely bright light is emanating through the crack in this doorway. It is shining, completely illuminating the space around you, and it entices you further. It encourages you to open this door further and completely and wholly. So now you are going to open this door wide. And as you open the door, pulling it open, and once it is fully opened, the door completely dissolves and dissipates. And now you are left with a pure opening. And now there is no more door to be closed upon this connection to yourself. As we walk in, you could take note of anything you may see, but right now I just see a completely white, glowing space in front of me that is clear of anything. If you do see anything, take note of it now. And then, once you take note, allow all of that to dissolve away and allow there to just be your spirit. The spirit that is connected to the infinite source, that is the all, and that runs through each and every one of us, that we can never be separate from. Allow everything to be engulfed by this light. And you stand at the platform now where this door once was, and you are being invited and called in by your spirit. By your spirit that is in connection and is one true source. That is the one true maker of your life, because your spirit is the true maker, the one true creator of every life you've lived. Because source is not outside of you, it is you. And you are in connection to all of the other pieces of source that have also separated from the all and become and chosen to become your own individual spirit. To be able to experience things outside of the all, to experience things outside of God. With your physical body in many different dimensions, in different worlds, on different planets. And now, as you stand on this platform, and as you prepare to step forward to integrate with this, to integrate your vessel that you are in this moment, in the present, so that you can embody the truth of your spirit and who you came here to be and were always meant to be. The one true path that your spirit has laid out for you. that you will not have to work for, that you will not have to strive towards, but that you will get to just now be, allowing your external reality to reflect to you how to get there effortlessly, not having to seek, but just having to receive each step in the present moment, which is the natural state we are meant to be in. You won't have to seek because you will just be. You will receive whatever is needed in the present moment to be able to embody the next moment. And when you are needing an initiation, you will receive it. When you are needing to take a new action, your body will be led towards it. When you are needing to do the inner work, to overcome a certain aspect within yourself to be able to claim the next moment, you will receive it. And it will be made known to you without needing to constantly seek outside of yourself, without needing to constantly seek all these random solutions. It'll just be made known to you with ease. So now take whatever amount of time you need to just sit with whatever's coming up, if there's anything coming up. And when you feel ready, I am going to assist with facilitating the integration of your spirit within your vessel. And once you step in to combine and come into union with your spirit in your earthly vessel in this life, that is when everything that is in disconnection, that is not in resonance, will begin to be illuminated to you, will begin to be revealed, and will begin to fall away. As we discussed before, this is nothing to worry about. It is just the natural experience that occurs after coming into true union with self, with spirit. So when you are ready, I now hold each of your hands as when you choose for yourself when is the right moment, you can walk. Take that step forward into the light. And now, as you step into the light surrounds you, the light is you, and you see nothing outside of you except this light. Now you are absorbing all of this light into your vessel. That is you. That is Source. And that holds all of the keys, the codes, and the information that you may ever need. And that will be drip-fed and delivered to you in each and every present moment that you live. And never again can you be separate from this in this life. Take a moment until all of the light has been absorbed into your vessel. Allow yourself and your vessel to feel lighter. How does your body feel? And now allow anything that wasn't in resonance to move from whatever part of the body that was in. I'm seeing a lot that's moving from the center of our body, and allow it to move down into your hands and your fingertips, and down through your legs to gather in your feet. And then we're just going to allow and watch as any of that sticky, ooey, dark matter that doesn't belong in our vessels drips out. And we are going to allow it to drip out into the earth and allow it to be reformed, renewed, regenerated, and for that energy that may not have belonged in us to go now where it can be useful, allowing it to be alchemized, transmuted from dense energy that was in our body to now nourish our lives, the soil, the earth, and to act as nourishment for the life that we are now going to cultivate, that can feed this new life that we are building for ourselves, that we are embodying, that we are allowing and accepting now for us to receive. I just want you to take note of any sensations in your body, because that'll give you an indicator as to where that energy may have been more held, may have been more stuck. In particular, I am getting a big flushing through the left arm for us. And I'm just going to pour some more white light through the left arm, which is representation of our divine feminine, and it's also where we do our receiving from. It's where it is a physical representation in our vessels of where the energy flows in, where we receive our gifts. And this is the place where we need to be completely unstuck, completely cleaned out so that it can flow effortlessly. So I'm just going to flush this now for all of us. Out the fingertips, scanning my hand, and you may do this yourself as well, scanning your right hand over your left arm, pushing any of that stuck energy out of the fingertips and allowing it again to be alchemized. And then we just want to bring some life and new energy into this left arm here, into our divine feminine, and all of the places that has kept us from being in connection and flow with our divine feminine nature that we have, many of us, some more than others again, have been in complete disconnection with in many ways. And we want to restore that connection so that we can feel that peace and ease that we are meant to feel as we live our life without the forcing, where we just effortlessly receive moment to moment what we need. That being said, that this is where we receive the downloads on actions we need to take. It doesn't mean just waiting for everything to come to us, but responding to what we internally receive as the actions we may need to take in our life, as the things that we may need to do to feel good, as the areas where we may need to just rest more. And now that left arm feels light we're going to open up our palm chakra on this left hand. And then we are going to invite, for each and every one of us, this will be different based on our unique gifts. But we are going to now invite exactly whatever it is that you need in this moment for your next step forward. And we are going to open up that palm chakra. And you may take your right hand to your left palm in the center. And as you tap the center of your palm, imagine a portal opening with light emanating from it. And now your left palm has been opened, activated, ready to receive the exact next steps that you need right in this moment. Ready to receive the gifts that you are personally ready for at this time. Nothing more than what is for your highest good and best interest, nothing less. And we ask that in this moment that you receive exactly and invite in exactly and only what is for your best interest and highest good. And that will facilitate what is needed for you, that your spirit has had planned for you. And we also provide an invitation and a releasing that any and all guides for each of you that do not serve your highest good or best interests anymore, or never have, are now released as we mark a new chapter and open a new book for our lives as we embody the empathic empresses we are. And we now invite, only inviting the loving, supportive guides that hold our highest good and best interests. We now invite them onto our spirit team if it is for our best and highest good, allowing everything to be completely shifted and renewed as we enter this new divine life path that we are living. And each and every one of you will receive exactly what we need at this time, that you need, and that we need collectively to be able to do this sacred life together. And right now, I'm being shown that the right hand, we're not activating that today because we're actually just meant to sit and receive. And we're meant to just sit in discernment of this receiving and to come into understanding of and really feel into what is it that you are receiving? What is it that your spirit received today? And allow that to just settle into your body. And so we're actually being intentionally activated because I'm being told now by Spirit that too many of us, we're too gung-ho. And as soon as we receive, we want to immediately be giving. We want to immediately be working. We want to immediately be putting it into action. But this is not the space for that right now. So they're actually keeping the output arm, which is the right arm, which is where we express our gifts, where we pour out our gifts. They're actually keeping that closed right now. And I'm actually seeing a plate being put over top of that right now as a means to assist in some of these patterns and cycles that we have been in for a very long time of just not allowing ourselves to be fully replenished by our own spirits before we are pouring that out to other people and to the world. So I'm seeing that we are being now, I'm hearing from the center, we are being poured into. So I'm seeing in our heart center, it's like these sacred waters. It looks like a fountain. And now what's being replenished is we are being replenished, those sacred waters of our heart. We're being poured into through spirit. Just allow yourself a moment to feel your heart space being filled up. Imagine whatever your waterfall looks like, and that waterfall now is being cascaded down over your solar plexus, down, down, down to your sacral and over your root. Oh, and I'm seeing now, it was like a dry desert. So many of us, all of us, have this root of this sacred tree. If you look at your spirit as this, as Yggdrasil, as this beautiful tree of life, of our life, and that root, the roots were just barren and dry to the bone. And so now we have this. So this was part of the problem, is that we had these enormous trees growing within us, that we are these enormous, beautiful, ancient trees. But we haven't had the necessary waters, sacred waters flowing to be able to facilitate the growth and the outspreading that we can feel is within our bones, we can feel within our spirits that we are meant to do. And now we are being activated in receiving what we need to be able to go forward. Because now we are in a container to be able to be guided to do that in a way that flows and is in remembrance and complete alignment to our spirit. No more forcing, no more pushing. And so now we are being called for a time to rest and to allow this soil to be replenished, for the grounds to soak up this nourishment. And it does take, I'm being told that it's remembering that it takes time for a root to soak that water in. If you envision a plant, you can dump as much water on it, but if you don't give time for that to integrate and to be soaked up, you will drown the plant. And this is what Spirit's needing you to understand right now, is you need to slow down. And for many of you, that can be physically, but also internally. Some of you, it's not all physical, but it's internally, that you're still just constantly spinning your wheels. And right now, they just want you to root down and soak up and understand that it's with each day, this is a stream that is being poured into you. And you need to be discerning as to when it is time, when you feel that, where you are actually replenished, before you rush forward with anything. And allow yourself to continue to receive as it floods in, because you are going to be receiving the directives that you need. But it doesn't mean you're not meant to act on them right now. You're meant to receive the steady stream that is flowing to you. But that steady stream doesn't mean that it's directives for what you should be doing and what business you should be creating or what services you should be offering or what work you should be doing and birthing. It's also going to be what your physical life needs to be. And their Spirit's telling me now. I'm just going to sit for a moment as I receive. You're first going to be initiated, my dear ones, into embodying the life you need to lead in order for you to be able to become what you have been seeking all along. You are a product of the life that you live. And many of you, the dreams and the desires that you've been seeking would never be able to be birthed into the lives that you are living. So rather than focusing on what you desire to be birthed, first focus on cultivating the ground, the container, the nest that you want those dreams, desires, babies to be birthed on and into. Because if we were to provide you what you've been asking for, your life, the nest you've created, would not be able to hold it. And that baby that has been grown and nurtured and that we've been waiting to deliver to you would fail to thrive. And you would fail to thrive trying to take care of it. Those babies will look very different to each and every one of you. Some of them, they're physical babies. Some of them are these gifts that you've been desiring to use. Some of them are businesses you've been desiring to birth and create. For each of you, it will be different things. And now, what your main and primary focus, and if you want to move things along like you've been desiring, well, the one true way that you can do that without going in circles, having to be shown and repeated the same lessons, is by addressing the daily, day-to-day life that you are living, and assessing and following the nudges of the things that don't feel good and transforming those things. Because before that you receive, because your gifts, these children that we are preparing to deliver to you in the form of many different things, whether it be resources, whether it be sacred missions, where you are serving your own sisterhoods. They cannot be delivered to you until this task is done. And I know that for many of you, you don't understand why, when so many others are receiving so many different things that they have dreamed of and desired, but yours are very delicate. Think of them like a rare flower that requires a very specific environment to be able to grow. It requires specific fertilization. It requires delicate soil to be procured, for the drainage to just be just right, for the nutrients to be able to be delivered up through the stem, to be able to blossom this beautiful flower that is rarer than most. So many of you have criticized yourselves or wondered why the things that you've been seeking haven't happened yet. But really what it is that your flower does not have the conditions, for it is rare. It does not have the conditions to grow that it needs to. And many of you have been able to get the flower to sprout, but then it immediately dies. And this is why we are now communicating to you to tend to your soil, to tend to the nutrients and the nourishment that is being delivered, because you are this rare flower. And yes, you are more delicate, and that is why all of these other things have not worked as they have worked for others, because they are not meant to work, because they are the wrong conditions, the wrong methods that do not work for a flower as rare as you are. Because from this flower is a very special, sacred kind of nectar that is not to be consumed by everyone. That is meant to be consumed by a rare, certain group and few. For only they will be able to digest it. So I hope that this allows you to switch your perspective on why things have not worked out for you the way that you thought or felt that they should, or the way that you imagined they would. And we ask you now for you to sit with yourself and receive the direct instructions, like instructions written on the packet of seeds. Each and every one of you are a different flower. Each one of you, the best thing that you can do is learn how to receive what those direct instructions are for you. For others, instructions will not work the same for you as they will for that other person. And the same goes for each and one of you in this sisterhood. You are meant to support each other in following your each unique instructions. Even you in this group will not follow the same rules, the same methods, the same ways. You will each have your own. That will create the perfect environment for you to grow and thrive. So this is what you are left with now. Stop seeking, stop trying to output, because right now you are being prevented from doing so because we first need to train you in being able to receive, to be able to discern and read and understand and hear your needs, and to receive from your spirit directly, and to hear your spirit, because in each step, a new stage of growth of this flower, you will need a unique set of instructions that cannot just be found on the internet, or the next influencer that you come across, or the next reading that you listen to. Sure, some of these things can act as inspiration to encourage you, but they cannot be your blueprint. Only you can discern and receive that blueprint. So this is what you're going to be called into now. And so just know that if you're feeling frustration at things not happening, it's because you are seeking for things to happen in the wrong places. This is our sacred instructions to you now and directives. And you'll notice that you will feel a peace and pleasure and replenishment in ways that you have long forgotten were possible once you are able to sit and do this, and once you are able to deconstruct from the productivity loop and the information absorbing loop that you've been in. Again, this will apply more than others, each on their own individual journey, each with their different tasks of deconditioning, of deprogramming, of unbecoming, so that you can simply absorb the truth of your spirit and the instructions that your spirit holds, and the map that is ready to be shown once you have set the stage for the map to be unrolled. Okay, thank you, Spirit. Well, that was a very clear instruction today, and not what I expected, as usual. If you have any questions or anything that in particular came up for you, feel free to leave it in the private temple group chat. And there is also your space for the Q&A for me to answer if you have any general questions that you would like me to channel on, and that you feel may be a good, helpful question for our little collective here for everybody to receive the answer on. And otherwise, you can leave your reflections and anything that particularly stood out for you this session, anything that you may have experienced, anything you may desire clarity on. And I encourage you to sit now with a journal while it's fresh, to just write down some of the things that you took note of and that you experienced from what you can remember. And as there are often little clues and little breadcrumbs, and will form a larger picture later that you just aren't able to perceive right now. So this is where really reflecting and kind of documenting is really helpful and nurturing. We cannot forget quickly before I say good day that we want to close this sacred space, and we want to ensure that each spirit is now taking back their own energy, and that each spirit is releasing everybody else's energy. We're now completely disconnecting from one another's energies in this way, and we are now closing and collapsing the sacred space we set for today, taking with it the gifts that we have given and received, so long as it is for the highest good and best interest of each of us in this group. Thank you. Now this sacred space is closed. And if there's anything further that you feel like you may want to do for yourself, that you can. I always encourage you to also disconnect yourself, just for extra measure, because you don't want to be picking up the emotions or any like emotional turmoil that someone else may be experiencing if it's going to disrupt your life. So that sometimes can happen when we begin to connect more deeply in these intimate containers. And so you just want to make sure that you say over yourself that my energy is my own. I am not embodying or taking on anyone else's energy. And I'm just completely disconnected now from this sacred space in this session until next time. Okay, thank you. Have a great day, all of you beautiful, beautiful spirits. Talk soon.